in the Ukraine, and he shared that room for 3.5 years. His father died, many other people died. Only 12 of the 50 people survived. And then Mr. Martyr told you how, after he escaped and they were released, he ultimately found his way to America, where he struggled to learn English and once again took up the violin. And now he plays violin with the Radio City Music Hall Orchestra. And his story, too, is one of perseverance, but it's more. It's a story of courage in the face of adversity, of the human spirit of love and forgiveness and hope. And I want to tell you another true story. In 1996, just about the time most of you were being born, the KKK held a rally in Ann Arbor. Many people in the audience will probably remember it, do you?
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, many people were upset and hundreds of people turned out to protest. Police dressed in riot gear and they had tear gas and everything was really tense and fairly well controlled. And then all of a sudden a woman in the crowd spotted a white man with a t-shirt that was a Confederate flag shirt, and he had an SS tattoo on his arm, and she shouted and everybody started chasing him. They grabbed him, they knocked him down, they beat him, they hit him. And at that point, 18-year-old Keisha Thomas, an African-American high school student, threw herself on him to shield him. And witnesses said she put herself at risk to save somebody who would not have done the same thing for her. And that's probably true, because she didn't ever hear from him. But she said, I knew what it was like to be hurt, because many times when I was being hurt, nobody stood up for me. And she said, violence is violence, and nobody deserves to be hurt, especially not for an idea. And months later, when she was sitting in a coffee shop, a young white man came up to her and said, thank you. And she said, what for? And he said, that was my dad. And so you never know what kind of difference you're making, who you will touch, what kind of influence you'll have. But if you don't stand up and do the right thing, even when it's difficult, you can be sure you will not have Keisha's kind of lasting legacy. The last idea I want to share is a poem by rapper Tupac Shakur called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. You likely know Tupac's story. He grew up amidst violence and hardship. His mother was pregnant with him while she was in jail. He only met his father when he was an adult. He was an actor, a dancer, obviously you know this, a poet and a rapper, and he was shot and killed at the age of 25. We may not condone his lifestyle, but there's a lot of truth and wisdom in the words of his poems and songs. Picture it. I did have a PowerPoint, but we couldn't show it. So picture this cracked concrete sidewalk and a pink rose coming through it. The poem begins, did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete, proving nature's law is wrong? It learned to walk without having feet, funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared. The rose growing in the concrete represents those of you who are experiencing challenges and reminds you of the importance of holding on to a dream, regardless of how difficult times are. The words to the last verse say, you see, you wouldn't ask why the rose that grew from the concrete had damaged petals. On the contrary, we would all celebrate its tenacity. We would all love its will to reach the sun. Obviously, nobody is perfect. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has damaged petals. But it's important, and this is what we do tonight. We celebrate who you are, what you've accomplished to this day, and it's important for you to dream of what you can accomplish in the future. Persist as the frog did. Forgive as Sam Martyr did. Stand up for the right as Keisha did. And you will survive and thrive as the rose that grows from the concrete. Once again, thank you to the parents and teachers